Yeah. Hi, students. This is Dr. Badrinath. In this video, we will see the bioequivalence study protocol, very, very important, and part two, right? Part one is already completed and I uploaded. You watch it, right? In this, we will see the structure. This is the real protocol what I brought from my KDRS, one of my favorite company. Uh, I brought the real protocol and so that you can better understand, right? Yeah. So first you see the structure of the protocol. It consists of a nearly 11 sections are there. 11, all the 11 sections along with the subsections, sub-subsections you have to write in the first page of the your examination sheet. Protocol structure. Protocol means you have to write completely. Then later important headings you have to brief out. Okay, brief out. I will explain you. These 11 structures, see, these are the 11 chapters, just like a textbook. If you open, the chapters will be there. No, in the same fashion, I already told you it is very just like a very big book protocol. It's not a small work, it is very big work. Don't, and nowadays, number of questions are asking in the interviews. Okay, it is important in the examination point of view as well as the for the interviews if you are preparing. That's compulsory, especially for pharmacovigilance side or some bioequivalence side, hospital side. If you enter these questions, they are asking what is the structure of the protocol. First one, protocol synopsis. This synopsis, it describes the brief or just like an abstract. In an article, we will see abstract, no small paragraph. It describes the entire paper structure briefly within a 4 lines. Okay, so protocol synopsis is very, very important. Government regulatory authority people, first they will go through the protocol synopsis only. They will go through. So entire book, they will get some idea. Before reading the entire book, instead of reading complete book, first they will read the protocol synopsis. That's why you have to write it in very easy manner. Nowadays, the jobs are also there for this content writing. Content writing, it was a new jobs created by in the pharmacy field. Protocol synopsis. It is a brief of the entire book, entire structure. I will tell you later what is a protocol synopsis and all. First, we will see these things. All these headings you have to write in the examination. Next, number two, schedule of activities, time schedules of activity, right? Introduction. So in the introduction, you have to write study rationale. Rationale means reason why you have to study this. What are the reasons for your studying? With purpose, without purpose. What is why and background? What is the background for this study? Okay, is there any need of the study? Here, reason for the study and the benefits of the assessment and the risk of the what is the risk of this protocol study if you are doing this clinical trials? What is the risks? What is the risk for the patient? Okay, what is the benefits of this doing the simply doing without benefit? It is waste. You have to write all these things and the objectives and endpoints. What is your clear cut objective? You have to write. Most of the students, they are confusing what is the aim and objective. I will tell you what is the aim and objective later. And the endpoints, when you have to end, just like acid based titration, when the endpoint will come, pink color appearance by the phenolphthalein. Here also, if you are doing, go on doing a bioequivalence study, when you have to stop, where, what is the end point for this study, you have to describe. Okay, and study design, clinical study design, how you are designing, either parallel design, crossover design, and the number of participants, how many participants you have selected, each group, how many members are there, what is the end of study, clear definition you have to mention when you have to stop the study. Okay, scientific rationale for the study details. Okay, description and justification for the dose. Why you are giving only that much dose? Why can't you give a big dose? Why can't you reduce the small dose? Like that, justification for the dose. And study population, uh, inclusion criteria, on which basis you are selecting the volunteers, on which basis you are exclusion criteria. You are not selecting the volunteers or you are sending out so selection, why you are not selecting other persons? You have to write inclusion, exclusion, what is the lifestyle of the volunteers during the study, what is the dietary requirements, either meals, what meals you have provided, what is the dietary restrictions you made to them. Yeah, okay, and caffeine, especially this caffeine interaction is very, very important, alcohol interaction, tobacco important, either they are smoking habit or alcoholic habits, and what is the activity, either physically they are active or mentally active. During the bioequivalence study, what are the activities of the, either they are playing the games or writing, exercise is there, mental activity is there or not, number, all the things you have to, that's why the book will become a very big, okay, activity. And screen failures, treatment, okay, how you are giving a treatment for them. Okay, treatment means that is how you are administering the drug. See, treatment administered, what drug you are administering, what is the dose, same dose, a constant dose, or you are increasing the dose. Packing and labeling, how you are selecting the, after taking the blood samples, how you are packing the blood samples or urine sample, how you are going to be label it. Okay, and the method of treatment of the assignment, selection and timing of the dose, at what time you are giving, and either it is a blinding study or unblinded study, very important. Blinding study means the patient don't know which drug he is taking. Blind study, they will tell you this is for so and so drug, like that they will not tell. This is for this purpose only, they will not reveal. They will tell this is some drug you have to take, nothing will be happen, you have to correct it. That is called a blinded study. Open study, open study means everybody knows, even doctor who is giving, who is taking, everybody knows. This is called either blinding study. And dose modification, you modified any dose, why you modified, when you modified, okay, either the symptoms are increased, that's why you reduced it, the toxicity zone is there, that's why you reduced it. Number of questions. Okay, dose modifications you have to write. If there is no dose modification, you have to write no, there is no dose modification, we have given throughout the same dose throughout the study, like that you have to mention everything. These jobs are very, very important for regulatory affairs department. Those after completion of MPharm, those entry into the MPharm's regulatory affairs, pharmacovigilance section, very, very important. All these are the, and the preparation or handling and storage and accountability of the all the samples, very, very important. How you are handling the storage, if you are storing at 0 degrees centigrade or 100 degrees centigrade, your sample, blood sample or urine sample. And treatment compliance, either it is a suitable, and concomitant therapy. In case of any adverse effects, you given any other treatment for them, because drugs shown the toxicity. To overcome that toxicity, you have to give a treatment. You give it, that is called a concomitant. Okay, and treatment after end of the study, after end, you have given any treatment again to recover the drug what you have given, to overcome the effects of the drug what are already shown, like a discontinuation criteria. Discontinuation from the study of the treatment, why the volunteers are discontinued. If not discontinued, it's okay. If discontinued means why they have discontinued, again you have to take statement. Sometimes the company itself, they will discontinue the entire thing. If company is discontinuing, again you have to mention the company is discontinued at this system, like that you have to inform. Okay, and discontinuation from the total study, subjects last to follow. Some of the subjects you are not asking all the, you are not follow up all the patients, because this is a 6 months study, 7 months study, 1 year study also, sometimes it is a 2 years study also. Subjects last to follow up, somebody contact will not be there, they will go outside and that's it, case gone. So we don't know where, so why you are not follow, what happened, why he escaped, all these questions will come. All right, you must be answerable as a scientist. And this is the total ninth section, very big section. Study assessment and procedure, like efficacy, main activity is there or not, any adverse effects, serious adverse events you observed, suspected, unexpected, serious adverse events, and complaint handling. If any complaints of the adverse effects came from the volunteers, how you are handled that complaint, not only adverse effect, other complaints also. Treatment of overdose, in case of overdose, what is the type of given, safety, what are the safety measures you have provided to the volunteers, laboratory test what you did for them, all body parameters, RBC count, WBC count, blood profile, lipid profile, everything you have to do for all volunteers. That's your job. And vital signs, electrocardiogram, heart, you have to check that, are that reports you have to include in the book, everything. Safety monitoring, How you maintain the safety, and pharmacokinetics, what you have studied, bioanalysis, pharmacodynamics, what you have studied, like genetics, especially this pharmacovigilance people, they will see this. What is the effect of drug on the genetics and the biomarkers, health economics, and statistical considerations and data statistics after the completion of the report, after the complete getting the samples, and after testing all the samples, you will get the data here, Tmax, Cmax, AUC of all the groups. You have to, and you have to apply the statistics. That is one very big subject. Entire subject I already uploaded. It is available in my playlist. Biostatistics, very, very important one. Okay, you just watch it. Statistical considerations. Which test you applied? T test applied, ANOVA is applied, two-way ANOVA applied. What test? Chi-square test you have applied. You have to write here how you applied and what is the answer. Everything you have to mention. That's why it becomes big book. Okay. And study participant disposition, study for characteristics of the particular volunteer. These are the, and finally the reference, like books, what books you have referred. Finally, all these things you have to write in the examination compulsory without fail. First page, in the first question, if you open this one, first I have already told you in my first video of the bioequivalence studies, 7 items you have to mention on the first front page and first page. And this is the you have to write in the examination. This is the structure of the protocol. 11 steps are there. Each step later we will discuss one by one. First step, first chapter. Protocol synopsis. What is this protocol synopsis? Synopsis is very, very important. It is just like an abstract for any paper research. If you see the abstract of the 4 lines, instead of reading entire paper, research paper, we read only abstract. So you will get overall summary. It is a sum up. Overall sum up. Either the paper will be useful to you or not, you will get within the, by reading the abstract. Okay. So it is a brief summary that gives the government regulatory authority about an idea of the bioequivalence studies at a single stretch. They will give. They will not start reading of the entire book. First, they will go through the protocol synopsis only, very important part. Okay. It provides overview, just like overview. All the book just within a 2 pages. See here, it is a limited to 1 to 2 pages. That's it, not more than that. It gives the complete overview at a single stretch. It will give you, it briefly describes the following, like what is the title of the bioequivalence study, reasons, rationale, objectives of the study, why you want to study, endpoints of the study, where you stop with this one, study design, how you designed the clinical studies, and what are the drugs you used, what is a standard drug, what is a reference drug, where you purchased it. Everything brief out. You have to dosage, how much dose you have given, indications, treatment methods, treatment duration, how long you studied the period, number of subjects you selected, analytical methods, either you used HPLC for or mass spectroscopy for the samples analysis, statistical analysis, which test you applied. Brief report, completely brief. It should be within 1 or 2, entire your protocol, study protocol. It should be within 2 pages only you have to write. That's why synopsis is very, very important. In the practicals, you are writing no synopsis examination. How to write a synopsis in 1 page synopsis? It is not a small job. Entire big, you have to make it in a summary. And schedule, second chapter is the schedule of activities. Here you have to mention clear cut, either see total study period, either you completed within 1 year. In 1 year means what you did day wise, what you did week wise, what you did month wise. You have to select any one of the this parameter, and according to that you have to mention. So and so period I conducted a clinical trials. So and so period I analyzed the samples. So and so time period I applied for the statistics and calculations. So and so period I reported. Like that you have to write the complete schedule of the activities. Okay. And introduction, that is the third chapter. Study rationale, very, very important. Details with reason is called as a rationale. Details along with the reasons. Why to compete with innovator? What is the need to compete with innovator product? Your paracetamol, your Panadol is okay. You have to compete with the Dolo 650. Why you want to compete with them? What is the need for the society? What is the need for bioequivalence studies? What are the benefits? What are the risks? Okay, that is the main step here. If study is a success, this structure, then what are the benefits going to get to the you and also to the society? If study is success, then what are the risks? If study is failure, what are the benefits? Benefits, even though it fails. So if study is failure, what are the risks? All these points you have to be described in the introduction part. Okay. And fourth part, objectives and end point. Objectives, it describes about the company. It describes what company wanted to do. Objective, what you want to do. Either you are studying a relative bioavailability or you are studying a absolute bioavailability. What you want to study exactly, you have to tell. That is the main job. You have to tell. Okay. uh, and what is your formulation, what is their formulation, everything you have to be described. And the end point, yeah, where you want to end the point, either you are stopping up to the adverse events, you are carrying that only appearance of adverse events, you are stopping the this end point, or AUC 0 to last, AUC 0 to infinity, up to that curve you are stopping, that is the end point. You have to mention where you want to end. AUC 0 to infinity, I stopped completely. And sometimes adverse effects came, so that's why for that patient I stopped there itself. End point you have to be described. That is fourth one. And the goal and objective, some students they are getting confusion. Goal is nothing but aim, keep in your mind. In thesis book also, goal and aim are both are same. Objective is somewhat specific. Here I have mentioned goal. Broad it is. Here it is a specific. You see the example. Goal is to run a profitable operation by increasing the revenue. See, his goal is to increase the revenue of a company. Okay. And reduce the expenses. Okay. So that increasing the revenue, reducing the expenses. That's his goal. How? How? This you have to write here specifically. Rising the sales. I want to improve the sales, though, so that's why I will increase the revenue. And expenses. Find the new premises, okay, in a cheaper rent. So instead of putting my company here, I will go for cheaper company, so that my expense I will reduce. So that like that specifically, if you mention, that is called a objective. Goal means overall. This is for your idea only, need not be right in the examination. And here I have mentioned, see, the company protocol, this KDRS company, pharma research CROs company's profile, very, 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 very important. What is your primary objective of the study? To determine if 4 mg of the cetirizine, suppose, for example, cetirizine hydrochloride administered in a single dose of suspension formulation, very important to keep in your mind. Suspension formulation of the cetirizine they are taking, 2 ml per 2 mg of ml suspension with 1 or without water, with or without water, in bioequivalence. See here, in bioequivalence. They are finding the bioequivalence of the cetirizine HCl suspension with the same 4 mg of administered as a single 4 mg tablet. See here, they are comparing the suspension. So that's why you can say it is a complete, by closing your eyes, you can say it is a relative bioavailability, not the absolute bioavailability. Because absolute bioavailability always compare with the IV route, IV injection. So you watch my bioavailability video, types of bioavailability. In that I have already explained what is absolute bioavailability and relative bioavailability. By seeing this objective, you can able to say it is a relative bioavailability. Okay, so like that you have to mention what is your formulation, what is a test formulation. I will show you, that is a primary objective. These points you have to not write in the examination. If you write these points are enough. Okay, relative bioavailability or absolute bioavailability. This is for your understanding, better implementation to your brain. Okay. The secondary objective, to evaluate the tolerability of the cetirizine HCl giving as a single dose when administered to a healthy adult subject. What is the tolerance? Up to which dose they will tolerate this cetirizine HCl? That is a secondary objective. Primary objective is relative bioavailability. Secondary objective, see, to compare, see again there, to compare the relative bioavailability of the suspension formulation administered with and without water. Relative bioavailability with the tablet they are comparing here. to determine the example protocol. This is to determine the effect of high fat, high calorie meal on pharmacokinetics, absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of the cetirizine. Cetirizine, when administered as a single 4 mg dose of a suspension. When you administer a dose, what will be its interaction with in the form of ADME? What will be the absorption if you are giving with the fat? What will be the distribution if you are giving with the fat food? Okay, what will be the excretion if your patient is taking with the fat food? Like that, all ADMA to determine, that is the detailed objective of the study. Very clearly they have mentioned here: relative bioavailability, tolerance of the dose, and the third one is the to study the effect of influence of the fat food on the pharmacokinetics of the drug. And the endpoints, see, clearly they have mentioned here the ratio of geometric least square, see, AUC, Cmax, AUC 0 to last, AUC 0 to infinity. This I have already told you what is all this AUC in the my video, AUC video, that you have to watch it. Okay, AUC 0 to infinity. And endpoints again, see, incidence of treatment of any emergent adverse events, then they are going to end the for that particular patient, they are going to be end. See here for the Cmax, AUC 0 to last, AUC 0 to infinity, and what is the median effect, the ratio of geometric pattern square means, all these things you have to be described in very thing. This is the next part, that is the third video, bioequivalence studies protocol. Okay.